Hello reefers, so this week it's going to be kind of an update video. We're going to be covering quite a few things, so we're going to jump right into it. The good news is the 50-gallon is 100% cycled. I had a feeling about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that it was cycled, just because I saw it wasn't even really a diatom bloom. It was just very small speckles of that color. I know they were diatom, but I didn't have a bloom that you tend to see a lot of people have. That kind of let me know that, you know what, I think the tank is ready to go. So I went and I borrowed an ammonia test kit from one of my buddies, Casey Reef, and we're able to see that indeed there is 0 ammonia in the tank. So that's the good news. Now, a lot of you guys are asking, what is typically the next step for the tank? Like, what do you do? I know what a lot of people would do in this scenario. A lot of people would probably go out, buy like 4 fish, get some coral, and really start stocking the tank. But believe me, as much as I want to do that, guys, I kind of learned from the past. More importantly, I've learned from people that are a lot better than me. And you probably hear it over and over. We can't stress enough how important patience is in a reef tank. What I'm gonna do this time around, we won't be adding any other fish. Obviously the mollies were in there, they help cycle the tank. But we won't be adding any fish till probably another month, a month and a half, and we're only gonna add 2 for about, we're gonna add 2, then wait about a month and a half, and then slowly add about 1 to 2 fish every month after that till we get our final livestock. As far as corals, I've told you guys already, there is gonna be 0 corals added to this tank until we see coralline algae, whether it's on the back glass, on the rock, no way around it. That's just how I'm gonna do it. Again, because I've learned from the past, and once you have coralline, that tells you the tank is pretty well established, at least it's stable. I know a lot of you guys are watching this video and say, I just want to go out and buy everything. Well, I guess it's going to be hard to tell, especially if you're a newer reefer out there, you're impatient. Believe me, I'm super impatient. But it's going to be hard for me to tell you to do this. I know a lot of you guys are going to do what you want. You're going to go out and buy coral, you're going to go out and buy fish. If I can give you any tip, it's going to be, if you are going to go that route, go really, really slow. Try not to add more than 1 to 2 fish every at least 3 weeks. I guess you could really push it to 3. And corals, again, only start with easy corals, maybe zoas. I probably wouldn't do any euphilia yet, maybe wouldn't do an anemone yet, but just softy like leathers, zoas, and don't be surprised if you add them and they don't open up for about a month. That's, again, it's just part of the process. That's why I'm telling you, if you can wait, I'd rather see you wait. If you can't wait, maybe you can take those tips.
A few moments later.
I did get these stick-on tabs by Sarah. They're the ones that also make zip racks. But yeah, I noticed they have stick-on tabs. I know there's a few manufacturers out there that make stick-on tabs. I haven't ever used those. All I can say is talk about these. I mean, let's just show you guys how much the fish enjoy them. So this is what the tabs look like when you open up. They're actually, I'd say about a quarter size. So they're quite big. Obviously this tank isn't nowhere near fully stocked. So what I've been doing, I've been getting tabs like this and kind of just breaking them off. So I'm gonna show you guys. Getting it on there is very simple. Just kind of stick your hand in there, press it against the glass, and just let go. It's dissipating very, very little of the actual food. In other words, it's not drastically, you know, I'm not worried about it clouding the water. If you take a close look, it's really releasing it very, very slowly. And the fish are just going nuts over it. Check that out. They're just absolutely going nuts. While they're eating, we can take a look. As you guys can see, there's really no, there is some sort of, I can already see bacteria on there. I can already see it on there. It's a little bit hard to pick up on camera, but there really wasn't a diatom bloom, not on the sand bed, not on the rock. I'm just overall very, very happy with it. And look, these guys just munching away. 1 week later. Doing our first water change today here. Have the Fritz salt mixing. I use blue box of Fritz. It looks pretty clear already. The one thing I like about the salt, it mixes clear very quickly. I think it's been mixing for about 15-20 minutes. Temperature is pretty close to the tank. We're only doing 5 gallons, so I'm not too worried about it being a little bit on the colder side, because again, it's only 5 gallons that we're doing. This tank, I think, has over 50, about 55, close to 60 gallons with the sump. But yeah, you can still see the tank is still pretty clear. There's a slight, I don't know if the camera could even pick it up, there's a slight goldish film on the power head itself. You can kind of see it there. But that, I would say, is a few diatoms there. I barely see any on the rock. There's very little ones there. Nothing on the sand bed at all, looking very clean. One thing I already like about this tank is I'm able to fully remove the panels, easy access for maintenance, water changes. And another thing I'm already loving about a tank with a sump I'm able to take out all the water and just replenish the water there. No longer need to carry this really heavy bucket to the top and risk, you know, water dripping everywhere. That's one thing I really like about having a sump, and I honestly don't miss anything about having an all-in-one tank. What I do need to do though is I need to get a bigger bucket. I'm gonna have to do 2 trips. This is, I believe, 2.5 gallons. So I'm gonna have to, I think it says on the bottom. Oh no, 2 gallon. Shoot, so I'm gonna have to do 3 trips with this. So I just need to get a bigger bucket just like that so I can just easily replenish it. And then very easily got my hose. So start the siphon here on the top and then obviously drain it down into there. Pump is on, everything hooked up. Put the lid back on. The lid's actually using to hold this in. What we can do now is start the return, and we should start seeing water come out. There we go. Look at that. Everything's looking good. And then right now we'll do a quick test of the salinity. I actually mix the salinity a little bit higher because it was a little bit low on here. When I cycled this tank, I cycled with a lower salinity. So I'm gonna slowly start to raise it. I actually really like that lid. It does a good job of holding that in. Look at that, it's about to be done. Unplug that, break the siphon. God, I really love that lid. That thing was perfect. The back's already getting full. Okay, so I'm just gonna check everything, make sure everything's good. And then I may have to adjust the water level, but that'll be super easy. This is the first water change on this tank. I will say, guys, it's super simple to do. You know, having the sump on the bottom just really makes everything easier. It probably took me, what, 4 minutes, 5 minutes to do? Super, super easy. That's something I can do every day. So I think I've kind of finalized my location for the wave maker. It's hard to say. I still don't have any corals in the tank. It's very hard to determine how your flow and where your flow is going to be when you don't have any corals, because obviously there's no movement. I'm thinking about putting it here. Obviously we have 2 overflows right there, pushing water this way and back. And then I figured this one, kind of to interrupt it, is going to come here. So it really makes a nice turbulent effect. And I figured putting it on that wall would take away, obviously not on this wall so you don't see anything. I still need to manage my wires a little bit so you don't see them. Look at these guys, they're still going nuts. I may move it to the back wall later, I don't know yet. Again, without corals, it's a very hard call to make. Got nothing bad to say about these lights. For you guys that didn't follow my original video, these are the Illumagic Blaze Minis. I'm obviously running 2 of them. It's plenty for this tank. I don't know if you guys saw the par video that I did on these 2 bad boys. They're shooting more than enough par down this tank. If you didn't check out that video, please be sure to check it out. Over 1,000 par, which was unreal. One thing we are gonna have to do is redo the plumbing in the back. I'm gonna kind of let you guys know it's really for 2 reasons, but 1 main reason. One of the reasons, not the main reason, actually even on, man, it's bugging me so much. For you guys that have OCD, you can probably see exactly what I'm talking about. Can you see it? That thing, I even have nightmares because of how crooked that thing is. I'm not even kidding you guys. So the second reason, I don't know if you can see that pipe running through there. It's not even. It's very difficult. Actually, you can even see it there. It's kind of slanting down like that. That was, again, my mistake, and partially something else that I'm gonna share with you guys. The color, I wasn't too worried about the color being off. I was just gonna vinyl wrap that. The fact that I need to redo all the plumbing for something you guys will figure out here in a little bit, I figure I'm gonna change the whole thing up. A big recommendation I can give every single one of you out there that has a tank that has plumbing. From now on, guys, this is the only product I will ever use. And it's kind of the reason for me not using this is kind of why that and that over there happened. If you guys have ever glued PVC, you probably know already that the standard glues you use, they set within about 1 to 2 seconds, which gives you almost no time to position it correctly, as you can see here, especially when you're working in a tight area. I figured there has to be a product that sets a little bit slower. More importantly, it doesn't even need primer, which is amazing. But anyways, so I read about this. It's a new product, was released recently, headed over to Home Depot and was able to find it. Now guys, I did side-by-side test with regular PVC cement compared to this bad boy. Now, standard PVC cement sets within about 2 seconds. So after 2 seconds, you really can't even move it and you're stuck with stuff like that. With this bad boy, I counted and it was a total of 12 to 13 seconds a set. Now I know a lot of you guys watching this may say, well, that's really nothing. Well, believe me, when it's PVC, an extra 2-3 seconds for you to reposition that is more than enough time to get it straight. So those extra 12 to 13 seconds is more than enough time. It is a medium PVC. What medium means, it's just a thicker, so it's not as watery as the regular stuff. In other words, it'll fill gaps a lot better, and more importantly, it sets a little bit slower. And it is a single step, so there's no need for primer. And it's clear. So this is what I'm gonna be doing. When I redo the whole PVC, you guys are gonna be able to see it. Another thing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna change everything to American. This is obviously all metric. It's 40 millimeter, 25 and 20. All of it's going to be changed. Why? Because I cannot find any replacements here in the US. So figured, why not just change the whole thing to American? If you guys missed the last week's video, I did kind of announce that I am going to be putting a KHD controller or tester on here by GHL. If you guys didn't watch that, real quick, this unit tests, monitors, and adjusts alkalinity all for you, so you never have to worry about alkalinity again. Kind of where I'm going with having to redo the plumbing. As you can see, there's very little space in this unit. One option was going to be to mount it here, which it's a two unit setup. This is just a single part of it. Once I put the other one, it was actually hitting the skimmer right here. So I saw that couldn't be done. Another option was going to be to actually cut a cutout here, so half of it protrudes on the outside and half of it on the inside. Again, I did not like at all how that looked. And the last option was to mount it in this section here. But it becomes a problem when that tubing's in the way and that tubing's in the way. So these two are gonna get moved over, which will then allow for this bad boy to fit right there. Obviously it's gonna look a lot nicer than that. I'm gonna have to redo the top power bar. That's not gonna be there. We're obviously have to clean up all that wiring so it looks a lot better. But that's kind of the main reason I'm gonna redo the plumbing. It's really gonna be to fit this KHD because as it sits now, you can see there's no way. It just hits, and I want it deeper than it is there. Gonna have to redo all that. But of course, I'm gonna bring you guys along that journey for you guys to follow me so you can see the new glue, how much easier it is to use. So that's gonna conclude this week's update here on the 50 gallon. Again, thankfully, oh look, they didn't even finish it all, but they pecked at it quite a bit. You can see it hasn't even really clouded up the water at all. Yeah, I really highly recommend it. If you guys are looking for a little stick on tab, especially for your grazers, this stuff is really, really good. As you can see, it doesn't really dirty up the water at all. Everything's still running really, really good. Again, that's gonna kind of cover, thankfully, we're done with the cycle. We're still gonna get, let Mother Nature do her thing, let time take its time, if you will, and really let the tank establish before we start adding the official livestock, more importantly, the corals going in the tank. I think it's gonna be a great episode, bring you guys along when we do the replumbing. We're actually gonna be changing the whole metric to standard PVC, and that's really easy. I don't know if you guys have seen Coral View, they sell these couplings that are metric to standard. I got them at BRS, and hopefully it goes pretty smooth, especially with the new glue. You can almost guarantee that we're not gonna have the issue we had before. So yeah, if you guys are ever doing gluing PVC, believe me guys, you're gonna save yourself a big, big headache using this stuff. Be sure to check it out. But that's gonna conclude it, guys. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down in the comment box below. I thank each and every one of you very much for watching. As always, happy reefing.